McGraw-Hill Professional presents The Antidote to Suffering: How Compassionate Connected Care Can Improve Safety, Quality, and Experience. Written by Christina Dempsey. Narrated by Caroline Miller. Introduction. The sound of a door slamming awoke us. What was going on? I glanced at our bedside clock. It was 2:30 in the morning. "Mom? Dad?" my younger daughter Hillary called from the front door. She sounded upset. "Hillary?" my husband Tom said groggily. "Get up quick!" Hillary shouted. "Aaron's been shot." Aaron was the husband of my older daughter, Amanda. He, Amanda, and their two young children, 3-year-old Jackson and 7-month-old Jovi, had been at our house that evening for dinner. At 8 p.m., Aaron had left to work the night shift as a police officer in our town. Tom and I jumped out of bed, threw on clothes, and ran to the living room. One look at Hillary, and I could tell that it was bad. She had run to our house and was alternately sobbing and gasping for breath. Standing next to her was our friend Ben, another police officer. Tom was a retired police officer, and Ben had worked for him on the narcotics squad. "Where's he hit?" Tom asked the two of them. "Where have they taken him?" Hillary knew very little. Ben put on a brave face, but he was shaken. You could tell by the look in his eyes. "It's pretty bad," he said. "Tom, Aaron was shot through the eye." Having worked for decades as a nurse, I went into my clinical problem-solving mode, calling the hospital to find out who the trauma surgeon was on duty. There wasn't much I could do, but making that call at least allowed me to combat the overwhelming feelings of panic and helplessness that were washing over me. It was 3:30 when we arrived at the hospital. Amanda was there, and they had taken Aaron into surgery. 2 police officers stood guard outside the room. From them, we learned that Aaron had been investigating a call in a high-crime neighborhood when he spotted a suspicious-looking man. As he approached, the man bolted, and Aaron pursued him. Without warning, the suspect turned and pointed a gun. We knew Aaron had drawn his own weapon because other officers later found it under his body. But he never had a chance to use it. Before he could, the suspect fired every round in his gun. Aaron went down. Other officers administered CPR until the ambulance arrived. The 2 officers were guarding Aaron because the suspect hadn't yet been apprehended. As it turned out, the perpetrator was a career criminal who had spent most of his life in prison and was out on parole after being incarcerated for assaulting a police officer. Amanda sat sobbing. Her husband was probably dead. At the very least, he would be permanently disabled, possibly in a vegetative state. She had 2 babies to raise. How would she do it? What would happen to their family? As Tom and I hugged her and tried to console her, she sat clutching Aaron's wedding ring. A quick-thinking female officer had taken it off Aaron before they put him in the ambulance, mindful that if she didn't, Amanda would lose access to it. The police department would keep it as evidence. As upset as Amanda was, it was such a comfort to her to have that ring. Somehow, it helped her get through the initial shock of what had happened. Sometime later, a nurse came and brought us to a consultation room where we were to receive an update on Aaron's condition. This room was small and windowless, with seating for a family of 8. This is where the doctors and pastoral care staff come to give you bad news. Families sit there dreading the appearance of the hospital staff because they know that their lives are about to change forever. As the minutes ticked by, one after the next, we stared at the door, wondering what was in store for us. All we could do was wait. Finally, Aaron's neurosurgeon came in. She sat down and took Amanda's hands. As she calmly recounted, the bullet had grazed Aaron's nose and entered through his left eye. It had broken apart upon impact. Half of it was lodged in the back of Aaron's brain, while the other half had fragmented in his left frontal lobe. Aaron had multiple facial fractures. "The best-case scenario," the doctor said, "is that Aaron will never speak again, and he'll have limited use of his right side." I don't remember it myself, but other
Sample complete. Ready to continue?